Yes, good morning, students. Yesterday, I have completed Living World. Living World we have completed, and also I started the Anatomy of Flowering Plants. Yesterday in the Living World, I have forgot to explain the systematic position of human beings, housefly, then mango and wheat. So today I'll complete that. Then what I have completed in anatomy of flowering plants. After giving the systematic position of these four organisms, I'll continue that. Okay, first let us come to the systematic position of the man, housefly, mango, and wheat. Yes. Okay, listen. Systematic position, systematic position, systematic position of man. First is the man. Let us come to the systematic position of the man. Listen. Kingdom Animalia, Kingdom Animalia, Phylum Chordata, Phylum Chordata, Class Mammalia, Class Mammalia, Order Primata, Order Primata, Family Hominidae, Family Hominidae, Genus Homo, Species Sapiens, Species Sapiens. So this is the taxonomic position of the man. Taxonomic position of the man. Kingdom Animalia, Phylum Chordata, Class Mammalia, Order Primata, Family Hominidae, Genus Homo, Species Sapiens. Got it, Gordon? This is the systematic position of the man, or we can say the classification of the man. Okay, now let us come to the systematic position of classification of the housefly. Yes. Second one is the housefly. Housefly. Second one is the housefly. Kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia. Phylum Arthropoda. Phylum Arthropoda. Class Insecta. Class Insecta. Order Diptera. Order Diptera. Family Muscidae. Family Muscidae. Family Muscidae. Genus Musca. And species Domestica. Domestica. Musca domestica. This is the systematic position of the housefly. Kingdom Animalia, Phylum Arthropoda, Class Insecta, or you can say that Hexapoda, Order Diptera, Family Muscidae, Genus Musca, Species Domestica. So zoological name or scientific name of the housefly is the Musca domestica. So these are the two animals you have to remember. Got it? This is the man. This is the housefly. Kingdom Animalia, Chordate, Phylum Chordate, Class Mammalia, Order Primate, Family Hominidae, Genus Homo, Species Sapiens. Housefly, Kingdom Animalia, Phylum Arthropoda, Class Insecta, Order Diptera, Family Muscidae, Genus Musca, Species is the domestic. So, okay, these are the two animals. Among plants, two are. First one is the mango. First one is the mango. Mango comes under the kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae. Division Angiospermae. Division Angiospermae. Angiospermae. Class Dicotyledonate. Dicotyledonate. Family. Okay. Order Sapindanes. Order Sapindanes. Family Anacordaceae. Anacordaceae. Genus Mangifera. Genus Manzifera, species Indica. Species Indica. So scientific name of the mango is Mangifera indica. So this is the systematic position of the mango or classification of the mango. Kingdom Plantae Metaphyta. Division angels per male. In animals, in the place of division, we have written the phylum. In the place of phylum in plants, we have to write the division. You remember that we have discussed in the last class. Class Dicotyledonine, order Sapindales, family Anchoraceae, genus Mangifera, species Indica. So botanical name of the mango is the Mangifera indica. So like that. Another one is the wheat. Another one is the wheat. Same. Kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae. Division angels per male. Division angels per male. Division angels per male. Class Monocotyledonate. Class Monocotyledonate. Monocotyledonate. Order Poales. Order Poales. Family Poaceae. Poaceae. Genus Triticum. Genus Triticum. Species Aestivum. Aestivum. So this is the botanical name of the wheat plant. So this is the taxonomic position of the wheat. Got it? Kingdom Plantae Metaphyta. Division angels class Monocotyledonate. Order Poaceae. Family Poaceae. Genus Triticum. Species is the Aestivum. So this is the taxonomic position of the wheat. So these four you should remember. Among animals, who are they? Among plants, who are they? On mango, division means kingdom Plantae or Metaphyta, division angels per male, class Dicotyledonate, order Sapindales, family Anchoraceae, genus Mangifera, species Indica. Wheat, kingdom Plantae, division angels per male, class Monocotyledonate, order Poales, family Poaceae, also called as Graminae, grass family. You remember this. Then genus Triticum, species Aestivum. Triticum Aestivum, botanical name of the wheat. Mangifera indica, botanical name of the mango. Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens, zoological name of the human beings. Then Musca domestica, zoological name of the bee. So that is should keep it in mind. So these are the systematic position of the four organisms. So that is should keep it in mind. Clear? Yes. So thus I have forgotten in the last class. Now you have to remember systematic position of the four organisms. Okay. In anatomy of flowering plants yesterday, I think I completed the just simple permanent tissue definition and I started the parenchyma. Clear? Yes. Let us go to the simple permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissues. As we discussed in the last class, the tissue which consists of only one type of cells. The tissue which consists of only one type of cells with a similar origin, structure and function called simple permanent tissues, also called as homogeneous tissues. Homogeneous tissues. There are three of them. One is the parenchyma, one is the parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. Parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma. First we discuss the parenchyma. As we discussed in the last class, it is a simple because made up of only one type of cells. Okay, living because the cells contain cytoplasm. Because the cells contain cytoplasm. Non-mechanical, non-mechanical, non-mechanical because doesn't give mechanical support to the plant body. Simple because only one type of cells. Living because the cells contain cytoplasm. Non-mechanical because doesn't give mechanical support to the plant body. Then the food storage. Food storage because this tissue is responsible for the storage of the food material. That is why it is called food storage tissue. And fundamental tissue. And fundamental tissue. Fundamental, also called as ground tissue. Also called as ground tissue. Why it is called ground tissue? Because as we discussed in the last class, it is also found in association with the xylem and phloem. If it is found in association with the xylem, xylem parenchyma. Found in association with the phloem, phloem parenchyma. Got it what I am telling you. So that you should keep in mind. I think you are getting it. So parenchyma is the simple, living, non-mechanical food storage and ground tissue. Till here we have completed in the last class. Now let us come to the location of the or distribution of the parenchyma. Let us come to the location and distribution of the parenchyma. Parenchyma is present in soft parts of the plant body. Parenchyma is present in soft parts of the plant body, such as the cortex and pith of stem and root, cortex and pith of stem and root, mesophyll of the leaves, mesophyll of leaves, mesophyll of leaves, pulp of the fruit, pulp of the fruit, endosperm of the seed, endosperm of a seed, endosperm of the seed, present in soft parts of the plant body, such as the cortex and pith of stem and root, mesophyll of the leaves. Later we are going to discuss about the mesophyll. Pulp of the fruit and endosperm of the seed. As we discussed now, it is also found in association with the xylem and phloem. It is also found in association with the xylem and phloem. Hence it is called as ground tissue. Hence it is called as ground tissue. I think you are getting it. So this is the distribution and location of the parenchyma. I'll repeat once again. It is present in the soft parts of the plant body, such as the cortex and pith of stem and root, mesophyll of the leaves, pulp of the fruit, endosperm of the seed, and also found in association with the xylem and phloem. If it is found in association with the xylem, xylem parenchyma, phloem, phloem parenchyma, hence the name ground tissue. Clear? Okay. Now let us come to the structure of the parenchyma. Let us come to the structure of the parenchyma. Here, the cells may be oval, spherical, or polygonal. Cells may be oval, spherical, or polygonal, but sometimes they are also elongated and columnar. You remember this. First one is the cells may be oval, spherical, oval, spherical, or polygonal. Oval, spherical, or polygonal, and sometimes they are elongated and columnar. Sometimes they are elongated and columnar. Elongated and columnar parenchyma cells are present in mesophyll of the leaves. In the types of parenchyma, I am going to explain that mesophyll. Cells may be oval, spherical, polygonal in shape. Sometimes they are elongated and columnar. Clear? This is the first character. Reference to the shape. Now, so let us come to the next character is the with reference to arrangement of the cells. By seeing this picture, you can decide that how the parenchyma cells are arranged here. How the parenchyma cells are arranged. Here, parenchyma cells are arranged loosely with the intercellular spaces. Parenchyma cells are arranged loosely with intercellular spaces. Got it? What I'm telling you. This is the one character. So we can say that cells are loosely arranged. Cells are loosely arranged with intercellular spaces. Cells are loosely arranged with intercellular spaces. With the intercellular spaces. Next one. Third one is with reference to the nature of the cell wall. With reference to the nature of the cell wall. Here also, the cell is externally bounded by a thin, externally bounded by a thin cellulose cell wall. A thin cellulose cell wall. You remember this. Externally, each cell is bounded by a thin cellulose cell wall. Next character. This is with reference to the cytoplasm. So this is called cytoplasm. Here, cytoplasm contains large central vacuole. Cytoplasm, cytoplasm contains a large central vacuole. A large central vacuole. Cytoplasm contains large central vacuole. This is the fourth character. So, due to the presence of large central vacuole, nucleus lies in the periphery. This is called a nucleus. Nucleus lies in the periphery. So, we can say here, nucleus, nucleus lies in the periphery. Nucleus lies in the periphery. Nucleus lies in the periphery. Last one is cells contain reserve food materials like carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. So these are the structural characters of the parenchyma. This entire diagram is named as transverse section of the parenchyma. Entire diagram is named as transverse section of the parenchyma. You remember this. So these are the six characters of parenchyma. I'll repeat once again. Parenchyma is present in soft parts of the plant body, such as the cortex and pith of stem and root, mesophyll of the leaves, pulp of the fruit, endosperm of the seed, also found in association with the xylem and phloem. Hence, it is also called as ground tissue. Next, structure. First, with reference to the shape. Cells may be oval, spherical, polygonal, or rectangular in shape. Sometimes elongated and columnar. Elongated and columnar present in mesophyll of the leaves. Externally, egg cell is bounded by thin cellulose cell wall. Cytoplasm contains large central vacuole. Nucleus lies in the periphery. Then cells contain reserve food materials like carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Clear? One point you should remember. In aquatic plants, some of the parenchyma cells contain mineral crystals. You remember this. In aquatic plants, some of the parenchyma cells contain mineral crystals. Such mineral crystal containing parenchyma cells. Mineral crystal containing parenchyma cells are called idioblasts. Are called idioblasts. You remember this. Mineral containing parenchyma cells are called idioblasts, commonly found in aquatic plants. I'll repeat this again. Mineral crystal containing parenchyma cells found in aquatic plants are called idioblasts. So this is the structure of the parenchyma. I think it is very clear. So first the definition, then location and structure of parenchyma. I think it is very clear. So next we'll go for the types of parenchyma. Yes. Now let us into the types of parenchyma. Types of parenchyma. Yes, types of parenchyma. Based on their function, parenchyma is of three types. Based on their function, parenchyma is of three types. They are chlorenchyma. They are chlorenchyma. So this is the first one. In the word itself, you are going to get the meaning. Chlorenchyma. Remember this. Very simple. Parenchyma cells containing chloroplasts. Parenchyma cells containing chloroplast is called chlorenchyma. Chlorenchyma present in the leaves. Chlorenchyma present in leaves and photosynthetic in function. And photosynthetic in function. You remember this. Photosynthetic in function. Parenchyma cells containing chloroplasts is called chlorenchyma. As I said, present in leaves and photosynthetic in function. Clear? In diploid, chlorenchyma is of two types. They are the palisade and the spongy. Palisade and spongy. You remember this. Palisade and spongy. These are also types of mesophyll. One point you should remember. Types of mesophyll and types of chlorenchyma both are the same. No need to confuse. Got it? So here itself I am going to complete the differences between palisade and spongy. While studying the anatomy of leaves, I am not going to give the differences. Here itself I complete. What is mesophyll? Which are the types? What are the differences between two types of mesophyll, like palisade and spongy? As I said, these are also types of chlorenchyma because these are the cells which parenchyma cells which contain chloroplasts. That is why they are photosynthetic in function. Okay. Now let us talk about the palisade and spongy. Before going to that, let us look to what is mesophyll. It is a ground tissue. It is a ground tissue present between the upper and lower epidermis, as in case of leaves. It is a ground tissue present between the upper and lower epidermis, as in case of leaves. See here, this is the upper epidermis. This is the lower epidermis. This is called ground tissue. Ground tissue present between the upper and lower epidermis is called mesophyll. As I said in diploid leaf, it is of two types. Palisade mesophyll. This is the palisade mesophyll and the spongy mesophyll. So this is called spongy. This is the palisade mesophyll and this is the spongy mesophyll. You remember this? I think you are getting it. See here, palisade mesophyll and spongy mesophyll. So many differences we can discuss here actually. Palisade cells are always present below the upper epidermis. Spongy cells are present above the lower epidermis. One difference. Right here. Palisade mesophyll. Spongy mesophyll. See, palisade mesophyll and spongy mesophyll. As I said, it is present. Palisade mesophyll present below the upper epidermis. Spongy mesophyll present above the lower epidermis. Here the cells are elongated or columnar. Cells are elongated or columnar. Here the cells are oval or spherical. Cells are oval or spherical. So by seeing the picture you can recognize. Number 2. Cells are compactly arranged. Cells are compactly arranged. Cells are loosely arranged. Cells are compactly arranged. Cells are loosely arranged. Intercellular spaces are absent here. Intercellular spaces are present here. So these are the intercellular spaces. Here we cannot find this. Next difference is the palisade cells contain more number of chloroplasts. These are the chloroplasts. Okay. So more number of chloroplasts. More number of chloroplasts. But the spongy cells contain less number of chloroplasts. Less number of chloroplasts. So these are the differences between palisade and spongy basophils. I think you are getting it. Following now? Yes. I'll repeat once again. Based on the function, parenchyma is of three types. One by one we are going to discuss. One I have written the chloroplast. As I said in the word itself, you can get the meaning. Parenchyma cells with chloroplasts. Even while studying the shape of the parenchyma cells, last I have written, sometimes they may be elongated and columnar. So these are only the elongated and columnar parenchyma cells. You remember this. Got it? What I'm telling you. Okay. So parenchyma cells, these are the parenchyma cells containing chloroplast, chloroenchyma. They are present in leaves and photosynthetic in function due to the presence of chloroplast. In dicotyledon, it is of two types, palisade and spongy. As I said, the types of chloroenchyma also are types of mesophyll. What is mesophyll? It is the ground tissue present between the upper and lower epidermis, as in case of leaves. In dicotyledon, it is of two types, palisade and spongy. Got it? So these are the differences. Here the palisade cells are present below the upper epidermis. Spongy cells present above the lower epidermis. Cells are elongated and columnar, oval or spherical, compactly arranged, loosely arranged, without intercellular spaces, with intercellular spaces, containing large number of chloroplasts, less number of chloroplasts. Clear? This is the one type of the parenchyma. Next. Second one is the aerenchyma. 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 In the word itself, you are going to get the meaning here. Parenchyma cells with large intercellular spaces. Let us consider these are the parenchyma cells. Parenchyma cells with large intercellular spaces filled with air is called aerenchyma. Parenchyma cells with large intercellular spaces filled with air is called aerenchyma. Aerenchyma always present in hydrophytes. Hydrophytes, nothing but aquatic plants. Nothing but aquatic plants. Parenchyma always present in hydrophytes, nothing but aquatic plants. Where they give buoyancy to aquatic plants and also helps in the exchange of gases and also help in the exchange of gases. These are the two functions of the parenchyma. I think you are getting it. I'll repeat once again. Parenchyma cells with large intercellular spaces filled with air is called aerenchyma. Present in aquatic plants are hydrophytes, where there are two functions of parenchyma. One is gives buoyancy to the aquatic plants. One point you should remember. Due to the presence of parenchyma, these aquatic plants can float on the surface of the water. Aquatic plants float on the surface of the water. That is called buoyancy, and also helps in exchange of gases. Exchange of gases. So these are the two functions of parenchyma. Clear? Next. Let us consider prosenchyma. 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 The elongated parenchyma cells. Elongated parenchyma cells with the slight thick walls like this only. Elongated parenchyma cells with the slight thick walls is called prosenchyma. Elongated parenchyma cells with the slight thick walls is called prosenchyma. It lends support to the plant body. We cannot use mechanical, just support. That's all. Because of the presence of thick walls. Elongated parenchyma cells with the slight thick walls is called prosenchyma. It lends support to the plant body. As I said, we cannot use the mechanical support. Mechanical thick wall is just support still, but we cannot use mechanical. Mechanical parenchyma is a non-mechanical tissue. You remember this? I think you get it. So these are the types of parenchyma based on their function. Okay. Now let us consider general functions of parenchyma. Let us consider functions of parenchyma. Number one, it is responsible for the storage of the food materials. Storage of the food materials. Hence, it is also called as food storage tissue. Hence, it is also called as food storage tissue. Parenchyma cells responsible for the storage of the food materials. Parenchyma cells responsible for the storage of the food materials. Hence, it is also called as food storage tissue, like carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Number one. Number two, chlorenchyma. Chlorenchyma performs the function of the photosynthesis. Performs the function of the photosynthesis because the cells contain chloroplast. Because the cells contain chloroplast, that is why it performs the function of photosynthesis. Then parenchyma gives buoyancy. Parenchyma gives buoyancy to aquatic plants and helps in exchange of gases. Following now, parenchyma gives buoyancy to the aquatic plants and also helps in exchange of gases. Next one is prosenchyma. Prosenchyma lends support to the plant body. Prosenchyma lends support to the plant body because of slight thick walls. Then, in xerophytic plants, like Opuntia, parenchyma stores water. And mucilage. Parenchyma cells store water and mucilage. You remember this. Or we can say, in xerophytic plants like Opuntia, even aloe vera also you can take. Parenchyma cells store water in the form of mucilaginous substance. Got it? What I mean? Just I think you people have seen the aloe vera. Just ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, press ಮಾಡಿ, jelly-like substance ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. That is nothing but mucilage action. Got it? ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ xerophytic plants ಗೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಸಿಗೋದೇ ತುಂಬಾ ಅಪರೂಪ. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ parenchyma cells ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಸಿಕ್ಕತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಾಟರ್ mucilaginous substance ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟೋರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಕೋ ಅವಾಗ ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಜೆಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ one is the okay. Parenchyma it heals the wounds. It helps the wounds by dedifferentiation and take part in regeneration. You remember this. It heals the wounds in plants and take part in regeneration. I think it is very clear. For example, very close to your house, one big tree is there. ಒಂದು ಮಚ್ಚು ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಅನ್ನ ತೆಗೀರಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾಯ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 1 ಮಂತ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಇಂಜರಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ parenchyma cells they undergo repeated mitotic division by acquiring the meristematic activity. That is only for dedifferentiation. ಅವಾಗ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ರೀಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಹೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ wounds in plants ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ನಾವು. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿನಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಜುರಿ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ 8 or 10 days ಅಥವಾ 15 days ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಜುರಿ ಆದಾಗ ಫುಲ್ ಗಾಯ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಆ ಗಾಯ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಹೀಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ. ವೈ ನಾಟ್? ಏನ್ ಸೊಮ್ಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂಜುರಿ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ದೇ ಅಂಡರ್ಗೋ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಮೈಟೋಟಿಕ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ and replace the damaged cells. Is it not healing of wound? Like that, even in plants also, parenchyma cells helps in healing of wounds by regaining the power of cell division, by acquiring the meristematic activity. That is called dedifferentiation. I think it is very clear. So these are the functions of the parenchyma. So with this, we have completed the parenchyma. Okay, what we have discussed under the parenchyma, once again I am going to repeat, complete what we have discussed. It is a simple, living, non-mechanical food storage or ground tissue. Clear? Present in soft parts of the plant body, such as the cortex and pith of stem and root, pulp of the fruit, endosperm of the seed, mesophyll cells of the leaves, also found in association with the xylem and phloem Hence it is called ground tissue. One more function we can say. Yes, as we discussed, it is also found in association with the xylem and phloem bone. So if it is found in association with the xylem, xylem parenchyma, phloem parenchyma, responsible for the conduction of water, mineral salts, and food respectively, that you should keep in mind. So it is also found in association with the xylem parenchyma, phloem parenchyma, responsible for the conduction of water, mineral salts, and food materials respectively. This is also function of the parenchyma. Okay, let it be. So next, structure. Cells may be oval, spherical, polygonal, or sometimes elongated and columnar, loosely arranged with intercellular spaces. Cell wall is thin, made up of cellulose. Cytoplasm contains large central vacuole. Nucleus lies in the periphery. Cells contain reserve food materials like carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. So these are the structures. Then one more point. In aquatic plants, some of the parenchyma cells contain mineral crystals. Such mineral crystal containing parenchyma cells are called idioblasts. You remember that? I think it is very clear for you. This is the structure. Then function, types. Based on their function, parenchyma three types. Chlorenchyma, parenchyma cells with chloroplast chlorenchyma. Found in leaves, photosynthetic in function. Dicotyledon two are there, palisade and sponge. These are the differences, palisade and sponge. Elongated column, spherical or oval, compact arranged, loosely arranged, without intercellular spaces, with intercellular spaces. Got it? Contain large number of chloroplasts, less number of chloroplasts. These are the differences. As I said, these are also types of mesophyll. What is mesophyll? Ground tissue present between the upper and lower epidermis, as in case of leaves, is called mesophyll. Got it? Yes. Next, parenchyma. Parenchyma cells with large intercellular spaces filled with air is called parenchyma. Present in aquatic plants or hydrophytes, where they perform two functions. One is give buoyancy to the aquatic plants, help the aquatic plants to float on the surface of the water and exchange of the gases. Clear? Third one, prosenchyma. Parenchyma cell, elongated parenchyma cells with the slight thick walls is called prosenchyma. Lend support to the plant. Then the oral functions. So it is responsible for the storage of the food. Hence it is called food storage tissue. Chlorenchyma performs the function of photosynthesis. Parenchyma gives buoyancy to aquatic plants and helps in exchange of gases. Prosenchyma lends support to the plant. In xerophytic plants, parenchyma cells store water in the form of mucilaginous substance. It yields the wounds by regaining the power of cell division, acquiring the meristematic activity dedifferentiation. Xylem parenchyma and phloem parenchyma. It helps in conduction of water, minerals, and food materials respectively. Yes. This much you should remember in the parenchyma. I think it is very clear. Yes. Next we'll go for the collenchyma. Yes. Okay, next let us into the collenchyma. Collenchyma is a simple living and mechanical tissue. It is a simple living mechanical tissue It is a simple living mechanical tissue. Why it is called simple? Made up of only one type of cells. Why it is called living? Because the cells contain cytoplasm. Why it is called mechanical? As the walls are pectinized, provide mechanical support to the plant body. As the walls are pectinized, provide mechanical support to the plant body. That is why it is a mechanical tissue. You remember this. Name the simple mechanical, living mechanical tissue, parenchyma. Name the pectinized tissue, parenchyma. You have to remember like this. Clear? Now let us see the location or distribution of the parenchyma. It is present in the hypodermis of dipole stem. It is present in hypodermis of the dipole stem. 2 to 3 layers of cells present just below the epidermis is called hypodermis. Also called as outer cortex. 2 to 3 layers of the cells present just below the epidermis. The details we are going to discuss in the next anatomy of roots, stems and leaves. 2 to 3 layers of the cells present just below the epidermis is called hypodermis. In dipole stem, hypodermis is made up of parenchyma. Right? It is also present in the petiole, pedicel, midrib of dipole leaf, midrib of dipole leaf. One point you should remember: parenchyma is absent in underground stems and roots, and monocot leaves. You have to remember this. Clear? Petiole, stalk of the simple leaf is called petiole. Pedicel, stalk of the flower. Also present in peduncle. Stalk of inflorescence is called peduncle. Midrib, largest vein arising from the tip of the petiole, extends toward the apex of the leaf lamina, is called midrib. Midrib of the dipole leaf. Clear? Absent in underground stems and roots, and also in the monocot leaves. You have to remember this. This is the location of the parenchyma. I'll repeat once again. Hypodermis of the dipole stem. As I said, 2 to 3 layers of the cells present just below the epidermis called hypodermis or outer cortex. In dipole stem, outer cortex is made up of parenchyma. Stalk of the simple leaf is called petiole. Stalk of a flower is called pedicel. Stalk of inflorescence is called peduncle. Midrib of the dipole leaf. Absent in underground stems and roots and also monocot leaves. Is stalks irukkalva. You have to remember actually. So many terms are there. In one place only should remember all this. Ekendre nim competitive exams alli confusion irodilla. See for example, stalk of the simple leaf petiole, stalk of the flower pedicel, stalk of inflorescence peduncle, stalk of compound leaf branches, stalk of a stamen filament, stalk of a gynoecial style, stalk of an ovulus funicle. See ಒಂದೇ place next ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ so ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. I'll repeat once again. Petiole, stalk of the simple leaf, branches, stalk of the compound leaf, pedicel, stalk of a flower, peduncle, stalk of an inflorescence. Got it? Then the filament, stalk of a stamen. Okay, funicle, stalk of the ovule, style, stalk of the gynoecium. You have to remember like this. Got it? So this is the location and distribution of the parenchyma. Yes. After 2 minutes, I'll continue.